Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got tonight's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kobold, joined by my guy, Max Faulkner. Max, literally right before we came on here, a 55-yard touchdown to your keeper, CD Lamb. Thursday Night Football going on right now. How does that make you feel right before we start this pod?
Oh, man, it's such a sigh of relief. A sigh of relief because, hey, I had to say something last podcast, Cole Breezy. We just posted our episode. What episode are we at anyway, Cole Breezy? 127?
This is 126, I believe.
120. Okay. Cole Breezy just posted a new episode, and on that episode, I had to bump my gums. I had to bump my gums about CD Lamb and how he's being a prima donna. All right, but now it sounds like he's woke up. It sounds like him and Dak Prescott went out for a nice steak. They went out to the club. and they partied
at
together.
The hose.
Yeah. It looks like they're buddy again. So glad to see it. Okay, and especially all fantasy footballers out there who have CD Lamb on their team. I know you're really excited now. You're pumped up because this might be that tune-up game where he's going to start going off for the rest of the season.
For sure. We see CD Lamb bumping his gums right after he scored that touchdown, get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
You might have been talking to me. That might have been towards me.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Good. Fuck you guys on this pod. But Max, like you said, we just posted a pod from 2 nights ago where we're breaking the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast up into 2 episodes right now for a Tuesday review episode, what happened last weekend, and a Thursday night preview episode, what might happen this following weekend. So we got our extra juicy dogs as usual. We got a couple game picks if we have time. But before we get into any more football, anything else from you, Max?
Oh, Cole Breezy, I don't know if you've been hearing about this hurricane that's out in the Gulf of Mexico right now, but it started out as a tropical storm, went into a Category 1, and in a span, I swear, of a few hours, it's now a Category 4. It's hitting Florida, making its way up through Georgia, and the spin cycle of this bad boy, is going to make its way over to Tennessee. We're going to get hit by this bad boy. We are going to get hit by it. By the time it reaches the land, though, it's probably go down to just like a big storm, okay? But we're supposed to get a crap ton of rain, a lot of rain. I'm expecting some flooding, okay? It's going to be a lot over here, but I'm excited about it because I work from home, so I'm not too upset.
That is a plus for you for sure. I hope everybody stays safe. When is this supposed to happen?
Tonight, okay? Usually, literally within the next hour, it's about to start, and it's going to be going all the way until Monday is what I'm hearing. We're going to get rain until Monday, non-stop. It's supposed to be crazy.
Better get this pod in before we lose Wi-Fi, huh?
Oh, actually, that is a smart call. Who knows? Yeah.
But today, for the fantasy football, like I said, we got our extra juicy dogs, a couple game picks possibly, but we want to start off with shouting out the top 5 players at each position in fantasy after 3 weeks. Okay, some crazy names in here. It's a small sample size, but it's a small sample, but it is a sample. Okay, 3 weeks is something. Top 5 quarterbacks after 3 weeks. Number 5, Kyler Murray. Number 4, Sam Darnold. Number 3, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Number 2, Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, smooth.
And number 1, my number 1, if I'm not mistaken, Josh Allen coming into the season.
Yeah.
Max, what's your reaction to that top 5?
Ooh, juicy top 5 right there. I think the biggest surprise for me is, obviously Sam Darnold. That ain't going to stick. But if there is one that everyone's got to be like, oh my goodness, it is Jaden Daniels. Okay?
Hello.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels looks great. Cole Breezy, I know you were high on him in your rankings. Because you're looking at this these wide receivers, you're like, who the hell is he going to throw it to? It don't matter. This guy runs the damn ball, and he's throwing it to his running backs. He's throwing it to the damn running backs. I know Terry McLaurin had a big play on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. But other than that, Jaden Daniels, fumbling my words, looks fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly where I went. And Cole Breezy, you're starting him this week. I saw that in your fantasy lineup.
Jaden Daniels is starting for me in both of our leagues. Definitely was a guy that I was targeting in drafts. I got a stat here. He has the highest completion percentage by a rookie in any game in NFL history. He was 21 of 23 in that Monday night game against the Bengals.
It's great.
He had more touchdowns. He had more total touchdowns than incompletions in that game. And Max, you're not going to get this. Jaden Daniels, the question mark was, can he throw?
Yep.
He leads the NFL in completion percentage. Jaden Daniels leads the NFL in completion percentage.
How
It's
many
not a lot of attempts. It's
I was
not a
gonna
lot
say,
of attempts.
yeah, I want to know about those attempts, but yeah.
But for percentage, I believe he's up by about 80%. I'll have to look that up, but Jaden Daniels definitely impressive. Let's look at the running backs, top 5 running backs after 3 weeks. Number 5, Breece Hall. Number
Nice.
4, after his big game last week, Kyron Williams.
Mhm.
Number 3, a guy that maybe some people slept on in our draft, Devon Achane.
Yep.
Number 2, Alvin Kamara. And number 1, Saquon Barkley. Max, what's your thoughts on that top 5?
Solid top 5. I'm actually not shocked by it at all. I think I could see that top 5 staying that top 5. Honestly, I could see that. There's some really really good running backs out there, so I think that top 5 will switch here and there. But if that's where it ended up, I wouldn't be shocked. Saquon Barkley, I had him as my number 1 running back going into fantasy football. I think he's going to just be running all over with that Eagles offense. So good start for him, and the other guys look great. I mean, yeah, everything looks really good.
Alvin Kamara, we all thought maybe the age and maybe the Saints weren't going to be that good, but number 2, that's impressive. And Kyron Williams getting a lot of activity there in LA. Let's look at the wide receivers, the top 5 after 3 weeks. A lot of people were down on this guy because of his quarterback. Justin Jefferson is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 here, one of the bigger surprises, Jawan Jennings, of course, of the 49ers. We've talked a lot about him. Number 3, guy you picked up, Chris Godwin. Solid pick by you. Number 2, Rashee Rice. Solid pick by me.
Nice game he had on Sunday night.
Big game. And number 1, oh my goodness, we're going to go back and look and see who we drafted over this guy. But number 1 right now through 3 weeks, Malik Neighbors of the New York Giants.
Oh my!
What's your thoughts on that top 5?
Wow. Actually, wow. You know, there's a lot of names that we think that would be in there. A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, for me, C.D. Lamb,
Tyreek Hill.
There's so many names, so many different names.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, jeez Louise. But Malik Neighbors, man, whoo, he's looking like a keeper. He is looking like a keeper. Okay, he's got to be considered. I don't know who else he has on his team, but with that youth and that talent, oh my goodness, he might be the number 1 keeper for him. What a great draft pick. I was definitely sleeping on him because I don't like Danny Jones. But Danny Jones, you know what? Hey, guess what? He's proven me wrong this season. He looks a bit better. He's looking a bit better.
He's competent. If he wants to throw it to Neighbors 20 times, Neighbors is going to be good.
Yeah.
But Rashee Rice being number 2 is a surprise. Godwin number 3 is a surprise, and Jawan Jennings number 4 is definitely a surprise. So all those guys surprises for sure.
You just better hope that Rashee Rice doesn't go to jail. All right, you better hope they didn't have.
Not this year. Not this year. Not this year.
It's unbelievable that they can push that. Oh, we'll see. We'll see in 3 years. We'll see in 3 years.
Always gets pushed. Always gets pushed. It's not going to be this year. So Rashee Rice looking like a steal. Let me see here real quick. Rashee Rice was a draft pick for me in our main league. The wide receiver 2 right now. I got him in the 7th round. So
good place. Good place for him, yeah.
Top 5 tight ends after 3 weeks in fantasy. And by the way, this is all full PPR on ESPN. Number 5, even after 2 queef weeks, Isaiah Likely after that big week 1 is number 5 right now.
Crazy.
Number 4, dealing with a concussion right now, Trey McBride out of Arizona.
Okay.
Number 3, after 10 catches last week for your Bears, Cole Kmet.
Hey, all right.
Number 2, guy I drafted for the Raiders, Brock Bowers, rookie. And number 1, after what was it, 175 yards last week? My goodness, he got loose down the sideline. Philadelphia Eagle, Dallas Goostert.
Plenty of gooses. I think it was last season.
Max, what's your thoughts on that top 5 at the time?
Oh my! What a bunch of scraps! Man. Brock Bowers. We said it before. He could be the Sam Laporta of last season. We'll see. Raiders suck. Okay, but we'll see. as far as everyone else goes, I mean, Trey McBride, I think we could agree is like, yeah, but everyone else is like, are you kidding me? Why the hell is Sam Laporta not in there? Why the hell is Mark Andrews not in there? Travis Kelce. What in the hell is going on with the tight end position?
Even.
Dalton Kincaid. It's very, very frustrating. A lot of fantasy. I mean, all us fantasy footballers out there, you got to believe that we're like, what the hell with the tight end position? I'm worried about another goose. I got no one in my lineup right now for tight end because I'm trying to figure it out. Do I start Isaiah Likely? Do I start Mark Andrews or David Njoku? Which
Maybe.
he's practicing.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
I smell a goose coming for you this week.
Oh gosh. Thanks.
Max, let's get into some people's favorite segment of the fantasy football episodes, the extra juicy dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my quarterback, Max, because you fired him up last week, and I'm going to him this week. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, the QB5 right now. Why am I playing him? He's playing Washington, okay? That's the same team I targeted last week with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow woke up against Washington. Kyler Murray's going to have a field day with these boys. They're dead last against the quarterback position in fantasy football. Kyler Murray is third at the quarterback position in rushing yards with 161 already. He might put up 60, 70, 80 rushing yards on these guys. 250 and 2 through the air. He's going to have a field day. Arizona, 3.5-point home favorites and a 50.5-point over-under. That's easily the highest on the week. Kyler Murray looking like a steal in drafts right now. What do you think about that? And give me your quarterback.
Oh, I like the Kyler Murray pick. I definitely was sleeping on him because of you already know, the video game situation. I'll keep bringing that up. But once again, he's back to reality. And I love seeing it. Okay. I love seeing this. I know we bash on him. We bash on players all the time, but we love seeing when they're, because you know how much talent they have. And when they start focusing on the game and they're out there doing their thing, it is just so fun to watch. So I'm happy that he's turned it around. And that he has a guy in Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw to. I know you're happy about that pick. It looks like they got a fun combo going there. All right, but moving to the quarterback for me. Hey, he had a tough week last week, but we are going C.J. Stroud against Jacksonville. All right, Jacksonville might be the worst team in the league. Right next to your Titans, Cole Breezy.
Come on.
Oh my goodness. C.J. Stroud. Jacksonville is ranked 31st against the quarterback. Let's go ahead and go over C.J. Stroud's season real quick. First game, he had 18.3 fantasy points. That's two touchdowns. 13.9 fantasy points in the second game, 1 touchdown. And then last week, 9.2 fantasy points with a touchdown. You better believe this is a getting back to it game. It's a divisional matchup. He is going to go all over those Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm counting 3, maybe even 4 touchdowns. I'm not saying you can't say my buddy Mr. Tutty for a quarterback. All right, we're not doing that. But I could see a 3 or a 4 touchdown game for C.J. Stroud. He's ready to roll. Come on.
Yeah, I like that. Jacksonville fucking sucks. And yeah, I definitely looked at C.J. Stroud for this segment for my quarterback. He should have his best game of the season so far.
Yeah.
My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 4. Going to be the running back 1 on the season, so I ain't going out on a limb, but it's Saquon Barkley at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they're 27th against the running back position in fantasy football, so bottom there. Saquon, he leads the NFL with 351 rushing yards and is tied for the NFL lead with 4 rushing touchdowns. The Eagles are 2-point road favorites in this one. Is A.J. Brown going to play? I don't think so. Is Devontae Smith going to play? I'd be surprised. Saquon Barkley, he's had over 20 opportunities all 3 games this season. That should be 25, 30, 35 opportunities in this game. Tampa Bay, the Bucks, they've given up 6 rushing touchdowns already this season. That is the second most in the NFL. They're giving up at least another one here. Saquon Barkley, my buddy, Mr. Tutty, going to score this weekend.
Easy pick. Easy, my buddy, Mr. Tutty. That's a gimme point. That's a gimme. If he doesn't give you a touchdown,
you should lose one.
You already called it. You already called it. Very good. Let's go ahead and move on to my running back for this week. I'm going Kyren Williams, man, after that miraculous game that he had last week where he had a hat trick, 3 touchdowns, including 89 rushing yards, 2 on the ground touchdowns, and then an additional 27 receiving yards with another touchdown, 30.6 fantasy points. Woo. Oh my goodness gracious. Woo. He has 5 total touchdowns in 3 games so far. 5 touchdowns in 3 games.
Very good.
Woo, you are happy. You are happy. I'll tell you right now, Cole Breezy, let's just keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's get him in the end zone this weekend against my Chicago Bears. Chicago is ranked 23rd against the run. Surprising a little bit because actually Chicago's defense does not look bad this year. They don't look bad, but they're doing terrible against the run. Kyron Williams is going to have a great, great game. Expect him in the end zone, everybody.
I like that. Definitely like my guy from Notre Dame, Kyron Williams. He's hot. He's the main option. He's the main option in LA for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position for week 4. I'm going to stack again. We just talked about him. Marvin Harrison Jr. Against the Washington football Queefs. Just like against the quarterback, Washington is dead last against the wide receiver position also. Washington's defense sucks. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's the wide receiver 12 right now in full PPR leagues. Tied for the NFL lead with 3 receiving touchdowns, those 3 in the last 2 weeks.
Very nice.
3.5-point home favorite, 50.5-point over-under is easily the highest on the week. There's going to be a lot of points here, Arizona and Washington. Trey McBride going to play? I don't know. That was a rough concussion. So if he's not going to play, going to be more targets for Marvin Harrison. Washington has surrendered 9 touchdowns this season to wide receivers. That's 3 per game. Going to be another one right here. Max. Call me greedy if you want. I definitely was greedy last week. But my buddy, Mr. Tutty, Marvin Harrison Jr. scoring against the Washington football Queefs.
Nice. Cole Breezy, yeah, your team's looking good. I will say your fantasy football team looks good right now. You got a couple. You got a couple stars on the team with Marvin Harrison Jr. on there. Definitely got to be thinking about him for a keeper. I know you are. But good pick. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. For me, I got to go to my team, Cole Breezy. I'm going to go with the number 3 wide receiver, Chris Godwin. Okay. I had him as my sleeper when we were going over the NFC South divisional breakdowns. I said, don't sleep on Chris Godwin. He's had 3 straight seasons with over 1,000 yards, right? Well, guess what? This looks like his best season. It honestly is looking like his best season so far. He has 3 touchdowns in all 3 games. He's going against Philadelphia this week, Cole Breezy. Philadelphia is ranked 29th against wide receivers. 29th. Okay. Chris Godwin, he has 21 catches on 25 targets. That is efficient. Okay.
Very nice.
Let's just go real quick. I'll just go through his stats. 83 yards in the first game, 8 for 8. 8 catches on 8 targets with a touchdown, 18.3 fantasy points. Second game, 117 receiving yards, 7 of 8 targets, 7 catches of 8 with 8 targets, and a touchdown, 23.2 fantasy points. Last week against a tough Broncos defense, only 53 receiving yards, 6 catches on 9 targets, still scored a touchdown, 14.3 fantasy points. Cole Breezy, I think he's getting in the end zone for a 4th straight game. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, coming to Chris Godwin. Baker Mayfield loves him. He loves him. He loves finding him in the end zone. Why not? I'm just going to keep on going until he shows me otherwise.
Nice. I like it. Great pick by you, no doubt about it. That was an 8th round pick by you. That was very nice. Very nice pick. And yeah, him moving back to the slot. He was on the outside last year, so he likes the slot for sure. I like that pick.
Heck yeah.
My extra juicy dog at the tight end position this week, boy, it was tough. It was tough to find one here, Max. But I'm going to Atlanta. Kyle Pitts versus New Orleans. He's tight end 10 right now. He had a big 50-yard reception last week. He drugged down at the goal line, so he could have scored that and been way higher on the tight end rankings. New Orleans, the Saints, they're 28th in fantasy against the tight end position, so you can hit them up here. Atlanta's 2.5-point home favorites. If you got Kyle Pitts, start him because you probably don't have a better option.
Yeah, honestly. And this goes to good pick, Cole Breezy, because man, the tight ends are a bunch of scrubs. Okay, the tight ends are a bunch of scrubs, man. It's frustrating. It honestly is frustrating. After last week, me getting a goose from Mark Andrews, I'm frustrated. I am frustrated at this position. But Cole Breezy, I'm going to toss out a name, David Njoku. Okay, I'm tossing out David Njoku this week, going up against Las Vegas. Las Vegas is 20th against tight ends. Hey, everyone. He dressed fully in practice. He had all his practice gear on today. Okay. He was limited in drills, but who isn't? Right? Who isn't on Wednesday and Thursdays? Everyone's just kind of jogging around, just going through the motions. Okay. Browns
Sure.
had to figure something out. All right. The Browns look like shit. They look really bad. Okay. Literally, their name, the Browns, is dictating exactly how they're playing. All right. Brown
Yeah.
Bombers. Okay.
Yeah.
Nojoku will take some of the burden off of Watson, who's just chucking the
Mhm.
ball downfield
Oh
to Amari
God.
Cooper, or I don't even know who Elijah. What's his name? Elijah? I don't even know.
Elijah Moore, Jerry
Moore,
Judy.
Jerry Judy. He needs David Njoku. So when those guys are just going down deep, David Njoku is just like, hey, I'm right here in the middle. Just toss it to me for a first down,
Yeah.
would you? Give me a first down. And it's the same thing. If he plays, have him in your lineups because, like we just said, you're having tight end troubles. You might as well just throw him in and see what you got. He has a good matchup against Las Vegas. I'm going David Njoku in my fantasy lineup if he is playing. If he's playing, he's in.
Yeah, David Njoku, he might be the piece that Deshaun Watson's missing right now. I'm not sure, but losing at home to the Giants, letting Daniel Jones go for 236 and 2 last week, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
Browns. Max, let's finish up this week's episode with a couple quick game picks.
Let's
Last
do
week
it.
we picked them all and it took hour and a half. So we're just giving you some prime time games this week. Sunday night football, 6:20 Mountain Time on NBC. We got the undefeated Buffalo Bills going to Baltimore to play the 1-2 Ravens. Max, this is a juicy matchup.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Two top three quarterbacks in fantasy right now. Two MVP candidates. Where are you going in this game?
I'm going Buffalo. I'm still going Buffalo. I think they are red hot. I know that Baltimore squeaked out that win against Dallas, but here's the thing is that even though Baltimore won that game against Dallas, they were giving up, man.
Yeah.
Again, I brought it up that they were up 28-6. They almost blew that game 28-25. If CeeDee Lamb was actually running routes instead of walking them, maybe Dallas would have won. Maybe if you would have got your head out of your ass, which CD did. All right, CD, he woke up today. All right, he looks like he's back at it. Okay, he just had to have one of those games. But the Buffalo Bills, I'll tell you right now, the Ravens are not going to be able to put up that amount of points, and then the Buffalo Bills are going to go up early, and it's going to be hard to come back. I got the Bills, man, at the Ravens
Yeah.
field.
On the road, yeah. I wanted to go Baltimore in this one, but like you said, Max, they were up big on the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not even sure what to think about the Dallas Cowboys at this point.
Yeah.
Up big on them, and then just took their foot off the pedal. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's what's going on in Cincinnati too. Maybe too many shots at the apple there, and they just can't get over the hump. I don't know if that's what's going on. Guys are getting tired of each other. Guys are getting tired of the coaching staff. I'm not sure, but yeah, I got to go Buffalo. I got to go Buffalo with you. I want to go Baltimore. Lamar Jackson going to have a big game. Derrick Henry, but Buffalo looks really good. Buffalo
Yeah.
looks really good.
Yeah. Big surprise, by the way, Buffalo. I wasn't expecting them to be. Why? Why? Well, it's because he didn't have anyone to throw it to. That's why. That's all I got.
We got another doubleheader this week on Monday Night Football. The first one, 5:30 Mountain Time on ESPN. My winless 0-3 Titans, oh boy, led by Mr. Mayo. They're going down to South Beach to play the 1-2 Dolphins. We
Yeah.
know there's gonna be no Tua. Skylar Thompson, the backup, he got nailed a couple times last week. He's got a rib injury. We don't know if he's gonna play. Tyler Huntley right now is slated to get in there, the old Lamar Jackson backup.
Ah.
Max, you gonna give my Titans their first win on the road on Monday night?
No, I am not.
Oh.
I'm not doing it. Miami's defense actually is pretty good. Miami's defense is good. Your Tennessee offense blows. Okay, they blow. Miami, they are going to run the shit out of the ball. Devon Achane, you better be ready. He is going to run the crap out of the ball. Tyreek Hill might get some running plays in the backfield. Huntley runs. He also right. Yeah. He's also a running quarter. They're going to run the ball a lot. I don't expect a lot of passing, but I mean, maybe the Titans do the same thing because Tony Pollard looks okay. I mean, he looks fine. But I'm going to go with defense, and Miami defense is better. Miami's defense has to step up. They have to step up if they want to keep on competing with this AFC East. Because if you go down to the Titans, man, it's going to be hard to try to come back.
At home?
At home, it's going to be hard to try to compete against the Bills. No way.
Speaking of Tony Pollard, Max, right now he's in my flex. I'm not very confident about it. He's in my flex right now. Miami 30th against running backs in fantasy so far. So that's the
Well,
main reason. 30th against running backs in fantasy. I'm going Titans. I'm going Titans on the
you
road.
had to. You had to.
We might be down to a third string quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, and we see what happens when we get into the backups for quarterback.
Yeah.
For what it does for everybody else. This is going to be an ugly game. This is going to be a 16-12 fucking game. Like, this is going to be nasty. Okay. But Titans got a little bit of nasty in them. Going to get this one done in South Beach.
Getting nasty in
nasty.
Nashville.
Getting nasty. The other Monday Night Football game this week, 6:15 Mountain Time on ABC. Now, this is a lot juicier here. This is a lot juicier. The undefeated 3-0 Seattle Seahawks, led by Geno Smith, who I believe is QB 10 right now in fantasy. They're going to Detroit to play the 2-1 Lions. I'm hoping for a lot of points in this one, too. Definitely have two screens on. I'm a Titans fan, so I'm going to have two screens on. But this Seahawks-Lions game is the juicier matchup. Where are you going here, Max?
Going Lions at home. I'm going Lions at home. I like the Seahawks. I love to see that they're competing again this year. Looks like that NFC West could be up for grabs. Could be. But the Lions at home, dude. Lions are good. They're really good against the run on defense. They're ranked number 1 against running backs. Yeah. And Seattle, they got to run it. I mean, Geno looks good, but you can't rely on Geno to be chucking it all game. I just don't see it happening. So go Lions. I got Lions on that.
Geno Smith, the quarterback 12 in fantasy, excuse me. Like you said, Detroit number 1 against running backs in fantasy. So yeah, I gotta sit Zach Charbonnet this week. Definitely can't start him. Going Tony Pollard in the other Monday night matchup over Charbonnet if you're having that decision in your lineups.
Yeah.
But I'm with you with the Lions, Max. The Seahawks, I'm not sold on the Seahawks. I like them, but I'm not sold on them. They only beat the Broncos in week 1 by 6 at home. Then they only win in New England by a field goal, and then they beat Miami with Skylar Thompson. So I'm not sold on Seattle. Definitely a great start, but I don't think they can get this one done in Detroit.
No. Last thing real quick, because I know you brought up Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker III was at practice, everybody. It looks like he's doing some form of drills, but again, starting him this week against the number 1 ranked defense.
If he's out there, are you starting him?
I'm considering it. But I'll tell you right now, you probably have a better option for this week, especially because he just came up this injury. I think he's probably ready to roll. Kenneth Walker is explosive, but if he gets injured again, then oh man, you're going to be really upset. Gosh.
Kenneth Walker or Jerome Ford this week?
I'd rather Vegas. I know Vegas better matchup. It is the better matchup.
31st.
I might still go Kenneth Walker though because I think he's the better player. So
I agree. All right, Max, that's gonna do us tonight for this episode this evening. A nice little preview pod for the fantasy football week 4 season. But Max, before we got to get out of here, we got to talk about fantasy baseball again because right now we are in the thick of things, going back and forth. Any thoughts about this fantasy baseball championship matchup that we're in?
Hey, I know that you're winning 9-2 right now, but I'll tell you right now, those stats are still pretty tight. Okay, they are still pretty tight. Also, I am wondering because since the games have been canceled due to this hurricane, are they going to push our championship a day?
Ooh.
Are we going to go into Monday?
It's a great
That'd
question.
be nice. That'd be nice.
Give
us to Monday. Because there's teams fighting for the playoffs. Come on.
Sure. The Braves and Mets. Yeah, that series is up in limbo right now. Baseball is definitely heating up. Yeah, I think you're definitely going to make a run at this, Max. The injuries for me are piling up.
I got some injuries too.
Injuries are always happening, but Rafael Devers going on the IL just now.
Tough.
Nestor Cortez yesterday going on the IL. Sonny Gray going on the IL.
At least they went to the IL. I got Yordan Alvarez, my best player, Yordan Alvarez. They just said, he's not going to play this weekend. Why isn't he going on the IL? Can you give me IL 7 so I can put him on my IL to pick up somebody without dropping someone? No.
Roster spot. That sucks.
Exactly. Nothing I can do. So
injuries are always going to happen, but Definitely a tight matchup there in fantasy baseball. Anything else before we get out of here, Maxwell? Put us to bed, baby.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast tonight. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. We really hope we are helping you with your fantasy lineups. It's going to be a juicy week. It's always a juicy week. I thought last week was a little boring. I thought it was the games were boring to me. Okay, hopefully this week. I mean, by the looks of it, with this Dallas Giants game that's happening right now, it looks a little bit better. Okay, so hopefully we can get a little bit more excited about these games. But other than that, Cole Breezy, man, I gotta hunker down. I gotta get out my galoshes. I gotta get my rain poncho. I gotta get my poncho and galoshes.
What's that first? What was that?
Galoshes.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
You don't know what a galoshes are? Galoshes are these big boots. They're these big boots you put on. Galoshes.
Rain boots? They're rain boots?
Yeah, rain boots. That's what they're called. Galoshes.
Nice. Nice.
Galoshes and a poncho, everybody. Here down south. Hurricane.